Hi all, I'm Cullen Haynes and welcome to Law Live. My next guest has had over a decade working in law, joined as a partner at Solomon's Legal in April 2021 and is known not only for being a snappy dresser, engaging, charming, but also not just a lawyer, but more of an advisor with a commercial mindset. Could you please make very welcome Mr. Roy Kim from Solomon's Legal Partner? How are you, Roy? What's happening, sir?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Callan. Thanks for the very flattering introduction. A lot of
Pleasure.
them is probably not accurate, but yeah, the charming part is probably not accurate, but everything else, I hope they are. Very nice to see you and everyone else on this show.
No, it's good to have you on there, mate. And one of the first times we've had someone just put an exclamation mark because you are the first Roy on our show, but the first Roy with an exclamation mark. So
first impression really matters, right?
No, absolutely. You can. You never get a second chance at making a first impression. Athalopoulos from Canberra, leading barrister down there, told me that, and I thought that was quite good. But nonetheless, tell us what is happening in your circle of influence, my friend. What is happening in your world?
Well, I think a couple of things are happening at the same time. You know, as you know, I've been running this law firm since 2 years ago. Been flying around the country a couple of times a month and flying around the world, doing a bit of that more often as we try to focus on some cross-border clients and help them with transactions and try to fit a lot of hobbies in between that. So it's been pretty hectic the last 2 years. I don't think it's going to get any more relaxing than now, but I just love the busy world that I'm currently in. And, you know, meeting like-minded people and great people like yourselves, Cullen, it's what excites me and keeps me awake.
No, absolutely. And you're jet setting off to South Korea in a week or two. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Next Saturday, it will be a good balance of, you know, work and pleasure, but more work this time.
Very good. I got to brush up on my South Korean. I say, you know,
yeah,
I got to,
very good.
I think I did all right. I did all right. One of our leading lending officers in our office speaks both Hindi, Punjabi, and also dabbles in South Korean. So she's been teaching me slowly, my friend.
Very rare combination.
Yeah, I know. But we were talking about this offline, my friend, and you've got a lot of interests that many people wouldn't know. You're like an onion. There's so many layers to you, Roy. But how would you explain your life using film titles?
I would love to say, you know, Rainmaker or what's the other one, Lincoln Lawyer, but you know, I don't act on murder cases, and I'm not taking on a fraudulent insurance firm, so I wouldn't say that. I think probably Happy Gilmore is a little bit more appropriate.
Okay.
Have you watched that before, Cullen?
Oh, many times. Come on, we've only just begun to live.
That's correct. So I think the reason why I say Happy Gilmore is because there's a lot of things in the movie I could relate myself to. Probably not the college dropout bit because I'm not a dropout, but back in high school I was probably the most mischievous student and a troublemaker. So a lot of my high school friends, if they see me now, they still, some of them still don't believe I'm a lawyer.
No, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them still don't. So I think what Happy Gilmore did in his movie, you know, I'm trying out new things, you know, new golf swings, and having these different type of swings at this law firm, and in my circle of connections, just to see if new things work better than traditional methods.
I bet.
So that's why I chose that.
That's incredible. Is it all in the hips? It's all in the hips.
It is all in the hips.
And also, too, not many people know this, too, you were once like a champion FPS shooter player back in the day in South Korea. Top 150, if I'm not mistaken.
When I was in high school, I used to play this Korean game called Sudden Attack. It's like a Counter-Strike equivalent. I'm probably playing 10, 11 hours a day. Eating triple cheeseburgers twice a day. So that's when I had my reflexes, which I told you they are long gone.
You had your Uber Micro. You were like fast as lightning. Look out! No, exactly. But now you just apply that to your practice. And case in point, you're obviously talked about the golf swing and trying things differently. Obviously, you're a leading partner at Solomon's, which aims to be different. How do you differentiate yourself in the market, and how does Solomon's do that?
Yeah, wow. So that's a very big and an important question. And it'll probably take me 30 minutes to go through all of that. But just to focus on the gist of it, the saying happy wife equals happy life. I think
I do.
using that, I think it's for us is happy staff, happy boss, and happy client. So for us, we want to differentiate both at an internal level, but also at a client level. But firstly, within internal level, it's making the workplace enjoyable for staff so that they enjoy spending time here. Because apart from staying in your bed, this is where you spend most of your time in, right? So we just want to create that environment where people can really just focus on not just work, but connecting with other staff members within the firm, doing all these outside recreation activities, and just on the external, I guess, at a client perspective, it's really utilizing our connections and expertise to go an extra mile. And when I say connections, we always try to watch out if there are any other clients within our clientele that could help our other clients. So we are trying to grow this network of clients, who know our other existing clients, so that can potentially generate synergy. And I think we also like to pride ourselves in quality of service. And Colin, like every single professional would say, quality of service is the core value of the firm, but so many different firms approach that terminology quite differently, I think. So for us, like quality of service, it's something so simple, right? Professionalism should be the foundation, so that's a given. But on top of that, I think for us, it's the communication with the client. Lawyers are busy, but we should never be too busy that we're not talking to our clients. So we are always on the proactive front, talking to the clients, keeping them aware. It's not the client chasing us up, but it's us chasing up the client. It's us chasing up the other side's lawyer. And I think that's important because, clients are much simpler than lawyers. They don't pick up on, defects within technical drafting of provisions, but they pick up on lack of communications. They pick up on, it's very hard to talk to you. Like it's just those simple elements that we try to excel in, and we're just getting amazing feedback from those clients. So that's what I would say in terms of your question.
No, it's very much the Jim Rohn. God bless him. Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' mentor, and he talked about the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. So we all know these basics and the foundations, but I think we get blasé in our culture, and we forget to respond same day to emails, sundowner rule, respond to return phone calls within 2 hours. Like if you've got an option to give a call or email, pick up I always say to my team, this thing is a phone for a reason. This is a weapon. Pick it up, talk to people. People love it. Like instead of 5 emails back and forth, hey, Jane, I think we're on the wrong page. Just wanted to clarify something. Oh, thanks, Cullen. That makes it so much easier than, back and forth.
Exactly. You're spot on. And when you say your mobile phone is a weapon, it is, because it's much faster communication. There's so much personal touch to it. You can have a small chit chat with your client and build relationship into a deeper state. But I think with a lot of young junior lawyers, they are afraid of talking to clients or other side lawyers over the phone. So part of our core training within the law firm is, guys, just pick up the bloody phone. Don't send them chase up emails asking them to pay the invoice. Call them, ask them how are you, and tell them, by the way, just checking if you've paid the invoice and if you have a minute to look at that invoice.
I love that. That's the Columbo close for anyone watching, and Roy's been very humble not letting us know that, but that's a classic way to do something, is go in and say what's happening. And Columbo would always, he's an old 70s, watch it. It's a great show. But he's an old detective, and he'd always talk to the villain at the end and he'd just have a regular conversation. And he'd go to leave and then go, by the way, or also too, or one more thing. Definitely use it today and watch your engagement and sales soar. So we're touching some great stuff there, Roy. And there's one thing we talked about that a lot of lawyers and legal professionals need to hear, and a lot of professionals in finance need to hear, right? We were having lunch at Kid Coyote, and you said to me, Solomon's Legal likes to really engage with our clients on both tech and touch. And I'd never heard this concept before, and I thought it was incredible. And we've called our talk Tech and Touch. What does that mean?
Yeah, tech and touch. So we say that every single time, every day in our law firm, right? So it's called TNT. So I think tech is so important these days, not just because it's fast developing, but it's also, allowing us to work more efficiently. So I say tech is important from an adapting to new culture perspective, but also to improve efficiency, but to certainly to improve quality of work. I said, we try to differentiate our law firm by providing a better and more enjoyable working environment to our staff. So tech becomes really important when it's about improving the quality of work, because we don't want our staff to do repetitive and boring tasks every single day. We want them to focus on high value, personal and very tailored service to clients. And that's where tech becomes really important in terms of improving work quality, but also efficiency, right? Because, a minute, you can save a minute by automating a certain task. And if you do 20 tasks a day, you're saving 20 minutes every single day. So the significance of that can't be underestimated. And if you can automate, call it, 50 different tasks that you do on a repetitive and daily basis, you could spend the saved time in a more valuable part of the work, or interacting with the client. And also, I think I talked about adapting to today's culture. This one's very important, because I think today's culture, it's so much different to what it was, when I was a primary school kid. In Australia, there's so many young business owners. So that's the young business owners culture. You've got the tech savvy culture, like more people are adapted to tech and they like interacting on different platforms. And also, you get your people who are a little bit shy on public and they're shy to talk over the phone. So it's really, I guess, combining tech and touch is to address all of these different cultures. And more generally, today's culture where everyone's seeking convenience, we just need to address that convenience by trying new things. And that's why that's important to us.
No, I like that. And I think we talked about it too. Having a great tech stack is also very important too. So what programs you've got talking with each other to make it a seamless experience too.
That's correct. Yeah. So I guess for especially new law firms out there, or law firms trying out different things, definitely do engage consultants in automation and this tech space. Because the amount of positive impact, not just to your staff, to your client, it's significant.
It is. It really is. And you said something which I thought was quite interesting, that you obviously treat your staff well, so they treat your clients well. You've got another novel thing that you do at Solomon's, is that you want your staff retention to be so good that they eventually become your clients. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a funny statement to say, right? Especially when employers, they place certain restraints, non-competition clauses in the employment agreements, but we take a completely different approach. For us, for the partners and senior lawyers here, when we train staff, we tell them, look, you've got to absorb what we train you, make it your own, and deliver that to your client, and deliver to the extent that these clients feel comfortable with you. And when you leave the firm, those clients will remember you as the one who provided the service, and they will follow you. So be too good so that the clients follow you. That's a training phrase that we use all the time.
I love that. I think that is so good. And I think you also say you want your team to be better than you, so they can be good enough to leave, but the culture is so good that they don't want to.
Exactly. It's a funny thing, right? Because, if all our staff are so good that they can have their own clients, build their own clients, that should motivate them to, find another place that could incentivize even more. Or perhaps they could even set up their own law firm because they know how to bring in new clients and how to retain new clients. So that presents to us a bit of a challenge, Cullen, because staff retention becomes very, very critical and hard at the same time. But if eventually the staff leave and they take our clients away, we've at least done our job in training them properly, and we haven't done our job in retaining those staff, and that's fair.
Good point. Good points there. And I know you do some novel things with your staff, which other firms don't, which is incredible. Well done. Is there any passion projects, switching gears a little bit, that you're working on right now there, Roy?
Passion projects. I think we've talked too much on business side, so probably on the personal side, my passion project is become more like Cullen and eat more veggies.
Less carnivore like, huh? Not that
Less
there's anything
carnivore
wrong
like.
with that.
Yes, that's right, and it is somewhat work related because I'm not too old, but I am aging like everyone else, and I can feel it in my bones, joints, and sports injuries becoming more frequent. So I think physical health is really really important for someone like us to be able to perform our daily functions as the business leader, as someone who juniors look up to. So yes, so trying to focus on physical well-being so that my mental well-being is also up there. That's a passion project that I've been running for probably 10 years.
Oh, good on you. And how's it going for you right now? Out of 10?
It's been out of 10. All right, I would probably say 6.5 out of 10. And it's probably, I would say the 3.5 difference is partly due to all these client functions and dinners that we have at our law firm. And as you know, a lot of our client base, they are from Asian background, and they like to have a shot or two after work. So keeping them company, and they're also good friends of ours. So sometimes we just got to sacrifice liver for that connection.
There you go. A little bit of soju
Little bit of
after work.
little bit of soju. Yes, that's correct. Kind of something interesting for you to take away is South Koreans. They're the biggest consumers of alcohol. They are above Russians. Did you know that?
I didn't know that at all. And
They are
I used to
above
work at a
Russians
couple of
by
Jewish
far.
functions when I was in my uni days, and there was a couple of Russian functions, and they had a lot of vodka. But I didn't know that about South Korea. I did not know.
Yeah, exactly. Though in my previous workplace, I took my old bosses out for soju night, and I had a couple of other Korean professionals come along, and we were just having our normal dose of soju. And next Monday, when everyone came back to work, they said, "Roy, these Koreans tried to assassinate me."
My goodness. There you go. My goodness.
Yeah.
And like that might be something we want to see change. I'd love to get your thoughts on, and you can be as controversial as you like. What is one thing you'd like to see change in the culture of law or in law in general, my friend?
In law in general, I didn't think too much about this, but if I think about the frustration that I face on a pretty frequent basis, I would say other law firms could probably look to adapt to these new tech and new methods as well, so that we are on the same page. Like I don't believe we need to beat all our competitors out there, but I think the collaboration and synergy will be bigger if law firms our size work with similar platforms and similar mindset, as opposed to trying to offend, trying to beat, and trying to better the other law firm. Like I think Australia is such a vibrant and dynamic workforce, and a lot of young business owners. So I really think there's enough work out there, and we just need to work together, as
It's an
opposed
abundant
to.
mindset. It's an abundant
That's
mindset.
correct. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my old mentors told me there's two ways to have the tallest building in the world.
Hmm.
You can focus on building yours up, or
Yes.
you can focus on tearing others down. And unfortunately, many resort to the latter and think it's
Yeah.
easier to tear others down. And in Australia, as much as we've got a vibrant culture, we've got what's called tall poppy syndrome. And it's like cutting people down to size. I don't know what you have in South Korea, if there's an equivalent. But, and it gets to me. So I always say to my team, don't focus on the competition. Just do your work well, and it'll ooze through, and your clients, and it'll be like what Bruce Lee said, drop the rock, feel the ripples, and your clients will come and they'll tell their clients. And, if you're known for good work, honest work, authentic work, and you bring value, success will come. It always will. And there is enough success out there for everyone. I highly believe that.
Exactly. I truly believe that.
Yeah. And look, there's a lot of young legal professionals and professionals in my network that watch this show. They're getting to the end of the stream. They're watching. What would you like them to walk away with? What would you like to impart there, Roy?
I would say, I think as a young professionals, you need to be hungry, right? But I think the subject of what you want to digest, that's very, very important. I know there are a lot of employers out there that try to compete by giving higher salary, but from a young professional perspective, it's not just the monetary factor that should drive you to where you want to go. I would say focus on learning, and when I say learning, just keep learning, and build your own intellectual property. And once you've got the base knowledge, that's when you can build your own connections. So I think having your own IP and your own connection, that's going to be very fundamental if you want to differentiate yourself 10, 15, 20 years later down the track.
Okay, good message there. I think everyone can walk away illumined having heard that, Roy. And this one is a little bit esoteric, a little bit morbid perhaps, but when all is said and done and you get to the end of your long, luminous career in law and other things that you do, how would you, Roy Kim, like to be remembered, mon ami?
Yeah, that's a very good and deep and philosophical question, right? I think for me, I do want to make some sort of positive influence on people. And I guess the position that I'm in, I could potentially be motivating and inspiring young people. So that's what I want to do, be remembered as someone who motivated, but also someone who gave them a hand when they really, really needed it.
You were that friend in need, and he's a friend indeed. That's Roy.
Friend indeed, friend indeed.
that should be on the epitaph. I can just see it there, Roy.
Thank you.
And where can people find you, the good friend that you are? Where are you hanging out the most, my friend?
Well, I'm in Brisbane 2 to 3 weeks a month, and I'll be in Sydney for 1 week a month, and in between that I'll be flying around the world. But if there is any young lawyer or law student out there who wants to speak to a senior lawyer, just hit me up
on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
you're very active there. Fantastic.
Yeah, LinkedIn. We get a lot of resumes and work experience applications, and as opposed to telling them we don't have capacity, we actually ask them to come in for a coffee and give them tips. Where their mindset's at, because even if we don't have capacity to take them on board, we might know other friends who might be interested in hiring them. So at least we want to give them that opportunity.
Adding value. I absolutely love that. And also you are part of the Korean Association as well. You're one of the chairs there, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, so we are in the process of setting one up, and I will be a very proactive member for the Queensland Korean Australian Lawyers Association. So it is still in the making, but it's a pretty big group of about 70 to 80 members. So once that's set up, everyone will be able to see that on LinkedIn and see what we do.
Oh, I absolutely love that. And I think out of the 88,000 lawyers in there, it's like 0.01%. It's still a significant amount of people. So 80 to 100 is not to be snuffed at. It's the start of something. It's the start of something.
That's correct.
But appreciate you coming on the show there, Roy. It's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. And we'll bring you back for some bonus questions. Thank you, my friend. You're a legend. And if you know a legend of law or you're a legend of law yourself and you'd like to be on the show, feel free to reach out. Hit me up on LinkedIn. We come out Wednesdays, every Wednesday, and we'll upload this to Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts, and hope all is well. And just another plug, we've got Darren Mort's To Be Loved special screening of Tommy the Movie on the 19th of June at 6 p.m. at Dendy Cinema. Please get in and get your tickets. They're $55. There'll be lots of lawyers, barristers that will be there. Great networking opportunity, great food and wine, and also a chance to see a harrowing film about the impacts of breaking up the family when relationships come to an end in the family law. So please get on that. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Roy, bringing you back for some bonus questions, my friend. If you could explain your role to a 6-year-old child, how would you do that?
Oh, all right. I would say, if you don't want your parents to know what you've done, come and talk to me. No jokes aside, I think what I would say is, in life there are different difficult things. And if you are not sure what to do, come and talk to me and perhaps I might have a solution for you.
I love that. And especially for anyone being naughty, come and speak to you to get some guidance. And this one's a little bit of a back to the future type question. If you could give yourself advice at any age, what advice would that be? And what age would you go back and talk to yourself at?
I think I would tell my middle school, high school aged Roy, appreciate things in life and don't take it for granted. I think, we live in an age where a lot of people take a lot of things for granted, but we've gone through that. But we've gone through the period of coronavirus, COVID-19, and a lot of people are starting to appreciate things that they took it for granted and thought was, normal part of their lives. So I guess, like for me, I don't want to lose the habit of appreciating small to big things in life, because that's what gives the life meaning, I think.
I think so too. There's so many wonderful things there. I think they're great messages that everyone can walk away better for. Thank you so much again there, Roy. It's been a great chat on our Law Live, my friend.
Okay, catch up soon over some Korean vegetarian food.
Let's do it. Love it. Anything with soy protein it's got me on it there. Tofu too. Thanks there.
Thank you, Caleb. Talk to you soon.